what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2024 Toyota Prius Prime XSE Premium. Up front is a 2.0 liter inline 4 as well as a plug-in hybrid system, and down below is an eCVT. Now I am super excited to be driving this Prius Prime for two reasons. First of all, I think this is one of the best, if not the best, plug-in hybrid available. But the second reason is the fact that I had one of these as a press car last year. I got to drive it around for a week, but that was a pre-production version. I didn't really get to enjoy it as much as I wanted to, and so today we're going to be doing a little bit more thorough of a review, as well as a look back on how it's changed over the last calendar year. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that plug-in hybrid drivetrain. Well, like I said, it's comprised of two separate parts. First of all is the 2-liter inline 4. Very reliable little engine that sips on gas as it is, but of course is helped out by the hybrid. The other half is the electric battery half, the hybrid, which is a plug-in system, which is why it's named Prime as opposed to just a Prius hybrid. With that plug-in hybrid drivetrain, this can go about 33 miles on just electricity. Of course, that is going to depend on your driving style and whatnot, but that is a pretty good number, especially for someone who has an under 15-mile commute to work, school, or otherwise. You're going to be able to do that all in electricity, so much so that honestly, the weakest point of this car is going to be the gas tank, because you might not use the gas all that much if you have short commutes, and the gas might go bad. So try to drive it a long distance at least once a month. Try to burn up some of that fuel. Might be a little bit better for it, but the battery system is fantastic, and it's different than the hybrid system that you find in the traditional hybrid. The Prime actually has a bigger battery pack, and it has heating and cooling for the battery pack to help stabilize the temperature during your ownership of the vehicle, which should help with the longevity of the Prius Prime and the vehicle itself, which is fantastic to see. Now, like I said, paired to it is an eCVT, and when it comes to eCVTs, I trust no one besides Toyota. Last but not least, of course, it is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the 2024 Toyota Prius Prime? Well, it is a nice driving experience. It's quiet and it's very normal. That shouldn't be too out of left field, but it really is. It's so simple and easy. It's quiet. It makes driving such a secondary activity where for a lot of people, when you drive, it might be nerve-wracking. It might be an anxious activity, and yet the Prius Prime is so smooth and quiet that it sort of takes some of that anxiety out of it, and I really, really enjoy that. Steering is good. Visibility is okay. You kind of have a lot of angles going on at the front of the car, but that's all right. Most modern cars do, and overall, I'm very happy with how this drives. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital dashboard, and overall, I think it's kind of hectic, a little clustered, but not the end of the world. It gives me the info that I want. On the steering wheel, talking about clusters, we have lots of buttons. So off to the left, we have our pages, phone options, selectors, volume, and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise as well as mode buttons. A lot going on, but a lot of great features here in the XSE Premium. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, gauge dimmer switches, automatic high beams, wiper defroster, and heated steering wheel. Down below those, we have the gas cap release, tailgate, and AC 120-volt outlet. Moving on to the door, we have our memory seat options, as well as power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. And moving into the center, up above, we do have a digital rear view mirror. So this actually works off of a camera at the back of the vehicle, which gives you a really clean and crisp image. However, it can trip people out sometimes, so you just flip it down at the bottom, and it turns into a traditional mirror. It's a very nice thing to have that you can turn off if you want. But then we have our infotainment system. This is the now traditional run-of-the-mill infotainment that you'll see in every modern Toyota. I don't love it or hate it. I think it's fine. I think it does the job, and it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so I just immediately use that anyway. Favorite features is the camera system on the Prius Prime, because it allows you to basically see through the car, which is very, very cool and actually very, very helpful which I wasn't sure it was going to be, but in my week long with the 2023, I used it a lot. Down below, we have 2 climate control vents, hazard switch, and the power button. I also have buttons to the left of the power button for the parking assist and camera view. And then we have our climate controls. Climate controls are physical, unlike some of the Lexus counterparts that are moving to touchscreen climate. These are physical, and I absolutely adore it. However, one thing that is missing here is dual zone. I do not get dual zone climate. Someone that really appreciates it, it's a little sad to see. Down below, we have 2 USB-C ports and a 12-volt outlet. Then we have a cubby that will open into a hashtag hidden compartment. I'm glad to see that this made it into the full production of the vehicle, and it's just kind of a funny little tongue-in-cheek joke from Toyota. Then we have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. However, it fails, just like the 2023 did. No changes in model years here. Then we have the shifter, traditional shifter for the Prius now, and Toyota and Lexus are actually starting to use this shifter in other vehicles, but this was pioneered in the Toyota Prius many, many years ago. Down below that, we have our drive modes for Eco, Normal, Sport, and Custom. We have our auto holding brake. We have auto EV and hold charge. Very nice EV settings, power parking brake, auto holding brake, and traction control off. Then we get this sort of awkward cubby off to the right that is a wireless charger, but in my week with the vehicle, I never really found myself using it all that much. It's a little clunky and odd. So just something to note. And I've been very hit or miss with Toyota products charging my phone at all. So if you do go test drive a car, I would highly recommend testing out the wireless charger to see if it will actually charge your phone for more than 15 seconds. Most Toyotas will charge my phone for about 15 seconds and then quit, so just something to note. Then we get a center console with 2 USB-C ports and the seats. The seats are heated and ventilated, power and memory, and they are very comfortable for the caliber of car that this is. They're not quite your grandma's couch, but that's okay here in the Prius. I'm sure they didn't want to put 800-pound lazy boy recliners in the front and give you 3 miles of range. Decisions had to be made. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a backseat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2024 Toyota Prius Prime XSE Premium, and a couple of things to note. First of all, my knees are coming a little close to hitting the seat in front of me. Not a big deal. Head's coming a little close to the ceiling. Again, with my sunglasses on, not a huge deal. I could fit back here comfortably. It's going to take some adjustments, and that's for most vehicles of this size, so no surprises there. If you really are worried about the back seats, but you want this same awesome drivetrain, you can still get it in the Toyota RAV4 Prime, which shares basically a lot of the underpinnings, but is a larger vehicle. I do have heated seats back here, 2 USB-Cs, and a wall outlet, which is great to see. I also do get a center console, 2 cup holders in there, but otherwise, nothing too crazy to note. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Prius Prime, we do have a press and hold button here on the key fob, and it has a power tailgate, which is wonderful to see. Once we are back here, we get this really nice Prius pad as well. We do have a 12-volt. Oh, that's actually a wall outlet. Nice. We have a wall outlet back here, LED lights, and we could look under here for some extra storage as well. But that is the rear cargo space of the Toyota Prius Prime. I like it a lot. It is a hatchback, but again, if you're fiending for more space, the RAV4 Prime is another great option as well. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love the look of this generation of Prius. I think it really truly looks fantastic. I think Toyota did a fantastic job. So much so that this style is actually starting to bleed over into other vehicles, like the new Toyota Camry has a similar front end. So Toyota themselves really like it, and they're starting to expand the library that looks like this. However, one more thing about the exterior before we get on to the final thoughts is the fact that this has the optional solar panel on the roof, which is very, very cool. The roof lacks a sunroof, but you do get a solar panel on top, and the owner said on a sunny day, it will give him between 1 and 3 extra miles of range while parked at work. Now, that might not seem like much, but it's absolutely free. If someone came to you with your parked ICE vehicle and said, hey, do you want a free just single gallon of gas? No one would turn that down. And so that's where the solar panel really comes in handy. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving another Toyota Prius Prime from this body style? Well, I've of course enjoyed my experience much like I did in the Prius Prime before. That wasn't anything new. It's not very groundbreaking. However, there are some very strong points that I wanted to hit with this video. First of all, reliability. The Prius Primes are going to be more reliable, at least long-term or longevity-wise, than the standard Prius hybrid because of that heating and cooling system with the battery. It's better designed. It's smarter. The engine up front, also the actual internal combustion engine, the 2-liter is a strong engine as well. And so even if this was just powered by that, I would think that this would go the distance. But now, well, even more so because the engine has to work less hard. This car really truly is perfect. In terms of a mode of transportation, it might not inspire the most emotional response from you. It might not make you giddy like a schoolgirl. It might not make you chuck your lunch cornering on a racetrack. But as a form of transportation, I truly believe it does not get any better than this. And so you should absolutely go out there and buy one if you can find one. That's the biggest issue with this car, is that as of right now in 2023 and 2024, getting your hands on any Prime vehicle, whether that be the RAV4 Prime or the Prius Prime, it's tough. Dealerships don't get a whole lot of them. You have to get put onto a list. The owner of this car waited almost a year and a half between his initial deposit and delivery of the vehicle. And some people, unfortunately, just can't wait that long. Also, this being the XSE Premium, this is the most expensive Prius you can buy and one of the most expensive Priuses ever made. So I understand that it's unobtainable for a lot of people. But if you are looking for clean, simple transportation, I don't think you have to look much further than this Prius Prime. I really genuinely believe it's an amazing vehicle, and I was very happy to be behind the wheel of another one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Bob for letting me take out his Prius Prime. Bob has been wonderful to work with. I appreciate him fitting me into his busy schedule here today to allow me to drive yet another Prius Prime. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.